Hey guys, and how's it going? A friend of mine dropped off his backpack leaf blower. He does landscaping for a living. And I guess for about a year and a half, 2 years, slowly it's been getting louder and louder and louder. And let's go fire it up. I'll show you what he's talking about. And let's go see, we're gonna do a little exploratory, get into the engine and see what failed on it. Possibly if we could fix it, but definitely see what happened to it. Without further ado, let's go crank it up and see what it sounds like. Yeah. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. All right, let's go bring it over to the bench and start doing a little bit of surgery on it. All right, so let's get it size-wise a little bit more manageable. We'll take this clamp off and get rid of the snorkel coming out of it, and we gotta get all the plastic and everything out of the way just to start getting down to the engine part of it. So let's get to disassembly. Let's move over to the bench and get a little bit more of a sit-down job. Let's get rid of the all the intake side of things, the air cleaner and the box going to it. I'll bring it back in a second. What amazes me, he says he's been using it like years, and it like slowly every time it got louder and louder. You would think at some point it's that loud it would just have grenaded itself. Only possible thing, you know, aside from what it's doing, I'm kind of wondering maybe if we, it has like a fan or something that is hitting on the other part, causing that noise. Does sound like a rod knock though. Sometimes the camera doesn't, you know, the sound doesn't. Hold on. All right, I pulled the intake away, and it is pouring oil out of there. That's not normal. Well, that's not normal. And it's like straight oil too. I don't know, how would you get, I don't think it has crankcase oil at all. It's a two-stroke. That's just really thick. That's different. All right, I'll go clean that up and we'll get this cover off next. Yeah, that shut me up. I wasn't expecting to see that. And there's no place that I guess like almost looks like straight premix oil, but this is something that you would premix in the tank. It's not like it has a reservoir of straight oil, and I do not see a breather going back to that air cleaner anywhere from the crankcase. How the oil got in that boot. Odd. It's definitely getting, it's gonna be one of those machines. Are we free? We got one more. How about that one? Right in front of you. You couldn't see that one? I heard you. He did already buy a replacement too. So he just kind of says, hey, you want to go play with it? All right, let's go get the plug out of it. Let's actually go spin it again. Watch, it's quiet. Nope. Huh. Let's get the plug out of it and see if we can see any kind of funkiness going inside there. That plug's got a lot of drag, like it's taking threads with it. I used a wrench because I figured it was just going to crack loose and be able to spin it out. Yeah, definitely came out of there pretty gummy. It looks pretty normal though. The wear's decent to it. Definitely some chalky rust going around it though. All right, let's go give her another. I don't know if let's get the pull start off of it and see if we could turn it back and forth and see if we could feel any kind of like clunking going on internally. Yeah, let's switch over to power tools a little. This will work better for us. Almost like they're Loctited in. Because they're Loctited in. See anything funky here? I don't see anything. There's definitely, definitely starting to feel like the bottom end, rod end. Let's go get a little something, probe the piston. The only thing I think of is it's either that or the fan on the other side is loose. I wonder what's easier. Do what do you want to keep doing? Dig it into the motor, or do you want to? Let's go pop the other side off. Not quite sure how to get to there yet. Let's go get some of this out of the way, and we'll grab the fan, and maybe between the two halves we can kind of do one of those. I'm gonna go for the 8 screws in the perimeter. Is any over here? It's making a hissing noise. I don't know why. We are spitting gas. Easy. Easy. I can pop those fuel lines right out of there. That's the best way to orient this thing to not. You go pop those 2 fuel lines off, get the tank right out of our way. Alright, let's go see if we can fondle it. Well, what were we talking about? I think that fan's loose. Let's go get one bolt out of it. See if they're tight or not. They got little metal bushings in them. Let's go I wonder if can we spin it now with I think it was the fan. No shit, huh? Let's might as well keep digging in. Let's go split this all the way off here so we can get the fan right out of it. What we can do to go about fixing that? I don't know, let's go. Can we get a bushing out of it? Now they might be in from the other side. Well. Guess I didn't see it coming in a way. I really thought it was the rod on the bottom end though, didn't you? Right. Going in. It looks like it's been definitely spitting out a bunch of like crank seal stuff though, don't it? Got a little bit of clanking. Nothing like what it was. I think it was the fan that was making that noise. Let's throw 2 screws back in it again. Which ones were they? These? Make some room. No kidding, huh? Wrong one. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking it's the fan. I would guess we can kind of make like a shim or a spacer, but there's no. Yeah, you could even see it on the screws. Look at the pattern on the washer from it rattling. So that's why it stayed together for so long and slowly got noisy over time. Again, once you get a rod knock, you would think the thing would just grenade itself. So he was under the impression, as so was I, that possibly the engine was no good. So what he did was bought himself kind of like a top end kit or a rebuild kit. Kind of look like it. Does that look like that? Maybe if you want, maybe we'll move forward. Just for shits and giggles. Tear it apart the rest of the way. But top end it. We'll take a high end top end unit out of it. It came with gaskets and stuff too. And we'll put a cheap aftermarket top end in it. And call it an improvement. We'll see what kind of wear it has anyway. Let's go see if you can go tear it down a little bit more. Let's go get the shroud off of it, whatever other junk is on it, get it down to the block and pick away from there. I think first it might be in order to bring this over to the parts washer. Clean some of the crap off of that. Try to figure. There's a possibility that I think that crank might be still kind of crappy. Maybe because that fan was rattling so much, it kind of screwed up the, you know, the rod on this side, and why we have so much oil and stuff around here. Something's up. Again, I don't know about that air cleaner, why it pissed so much oil out of that, and how it all that got in there. And that it didn't smoke like crazy, right? You would figure if it would start sucking some of that oil in. And it was used all the time. It's not like things sat for, you know, 10 months and then it was taken back out and put back into service. Yeah, it's definitely wet all down, coming out of that crank seal. Let's investigate a little bit further. Again, we get that top end if we feel it's worth putting back together. Well, I wouldn't say it's spotless, but it's definitely cleaner than what it was. Let's get the muffler out of the way. And that should allow us to look at the side of the piston. Maybe. Wow. Good enough? There you go. All right. Let's go take a peek down that bore. You see the side of the piston. See if it's all scored up or not. Don't look. Let me get you set up. Let's go turn it. It looks pretty good, actually. Definitely did not star foil, but again, we're kind of still looking into it. I am kind of curious on, why that crank was leaking so much on that end. Plus, it's a big fan. I remember it's sucking air through it, but I don't see why that would make such a big difference. Let's get these 4 off. That'll get the plastic blower off, and then we just take the engine and kind of stick it in the vise and get the top end off and the carburetor off of it. Anything holding this? That strap right there. Getting smaller. Definitely use another bath too. Yeah. Let me I'm gonna go take another minute. Screw it. Let's just get it out of the way. Alright, so this is gonna be our kill switch. I want to break the wires out. The boot is really, there we go. Okay, let's get the carb off. We'll leave the throttle right on it. Are they the same size? They're smaller. I must say, they made it pretty easy as far as hardware is concerned. Those two, on the other hand, I gotta get the air cleaner out of the way. Holding that on. More of the same. Let's go get the hard one first, which is that one. Are we gonna get it? Oh, you can get it because the carb's loose. And I just tore the gasket. Rid of that. That come off? The amount of parts that get removed from something that's so small. It's probably about 80 screws in that bin already. Alright, let's go clamp this in the vise right here. Yeah, I'm not feeling that crank seal is probably pretty beat. But let's continue to tear it down. Let's get the top end off of it. Let's get rid of the plug wire. Trying to see where it breaks. The other part is too is let's get it in a vise. Yeah, I was thinking how we're going to get down to the 4 on the bottom. We have a access hole, but the socket I don't think is going to fit through that. You mean the cat will fit down there? Oh yeah. Okay. I think it's right. And let me get set up because the piston's going to stay behind. We're going to end up pulling the cylinder off of it. We are going in. Maybe. I wouldn't say it's exactly perfect, but for how many hours on it, it doesn't look terrible. Let's go open that kit up and see if everything is, you know, apples to apples, see if it's the right stuff. Get you a little closer anyway. First. Yeah, I see really big scores. I see some kind of weird little patterns going down it. But nothing. Let carbon build up top. The cylinder. Well, it's got some hours on it. A little bit of something happening right there, huh? Right there. It's roller bearing, so it's not. All right, let's go open up the kit. Get the rings jammed in there, huh? That's good for it. Just make those rings oval. See if the same size bore. Yeah, it looks to be. Got a weird little pattern inside there, huh? What's that? Like, Martian spaceship action going on. I don't know if that's from like milling or something. Plug hole looks like that's probably from laying on the bench. The plug hole looks a little dirty. That's from me rubbing it around. I don't know. I say we put that stuff on there. It's not gonna hurt us, right? Just finish doing our little eyeball session. Everything else kind of matches up. Sure. Skirts and everything are similar. Yeah, looks pretty good. Right. I don't know how much I can kind of, well, we'll show like little bits here and there. I'm gonna go take some time, clean some stuff up, get a bunch of gaskets off and all that kind of stuff, and we'll see about reassembling it. Yeah, I like a good puzzle. I've gotten like this where they're already taken apart. You have to go put it back together. It really makes it even more of a challenge. All right, challenge accepted. Let's see what we can do. All right, see if we can get that little clip out of there. No, that you're not. Think I'm gonna launch it? Maybe. Look on the bright side. The new ones came with new ones. Yeah, you thought I was gonna lose it, didn't you? No faith. Let's see if we can push the pin out. And that should allow us to get the rod and the bearing. I don't know if the other one had those caps on it, did it? I have to use them over. Let's go eyeball the new one. Make sure that fits. Yeah, the new one didn't come with those little sidewalls. Did we use them over maybe? I don't think so. Okay. And we're gonna do clips. All right, so I'm gonna go clean stuff up. I'm gonna go get that new piston on there. I gotta get the rings on and all that kind of stuff. I think we have enough components to do what we need to do. Now the fun part. You know why they call these Jesus clips? Because you yell, Jesus, it's flinging across the room. You should be able to kind of give it a start and give it a twist. Almost. I think I got it. Give it a couple of pokes, make sure she's in all the way. And the other one I already started, so feels pretty good. I'm gonna get the rings on it, and I gotta get the gasket down below, and then we can slide a jug on it. The rings seem to be the same, and they have locating pins on them. Right there. So. And the other one's right here. And I think we can get them on there without a spring compressor. I'm gonna get the gasket on the base though. The hardest part is to make sure that they don't turn on us. We're squeezing together. Let's go give her a gingerly coat. And the jug has a taper to it, so it kind of wants to help guide. Then in. That looks good. And where's the other one? Here we go. Right. Hard part's done. Now we just gotta bolt it back together. I'm gonna start attaching some hardware back on and doing some reassembling. I clean parts while we're at it too. Plot twist. Remember when we took it apart? We were able to get that down in there. Well, it goes part of the way in. You didn't quite drill the holes all the way through for it to fit all the way down. So, I don't know if I want to try to drill. Like that one, we can't even get it started in that one. I don't know if I want to try hitting a drill bit, probably in these to open them up a little bit. Because I can't get, even if I got like a little Allen wrench in there, I can't get in behind. Or even straight down. Can I don't know if we're going to be able to get not enough torque on it though. Yeah, we'll work with that. Cry, baby. What are you crying about? Get tools to get in there. You hit it with your purse. We'll call that one good. Later on, if it has a crank seal leak, it's your fault. Because you told me it was going to be alright. I wouldn't exactly call that smooth. So how about it'll give a little bit more oil. Should run out the ports when we what's proper break-in? What RPM? Good compression. Good. I don't know if you guys can see it. And the new spark plug. Right where the gap is supposed to be. You know, the gap right there, and then you look at the gap right there. There's a little piece of metal bridging that gap, and it's just kind of sitting in there, I think. First of all, shortening out the plug, but the more concerning part of it is that that would pop off of there and get scored up inside the cylinder and chew it up. So I think I'm going to go with cleaning that one up for now. Just a hunch. I don't know why I would, but you know. All right, kind of knocking out the reassembly part of it, and we are back to the rod knock. Let's try to figure out what would be our best way to try to cure that. I don't know if we could punch these, because I think the plastic is lower than the metal. You know, the metal fits, but over time the chatter had wore the plastic away, so there's nothing cranking down. You want to try punching them out of there, maybe? Like what's our the other part? I think it's also just the the playing the bushing from side to side. Let's go crank them down a little bit. Yeah, let's go see if we can get. You think those bushing, those spaces would come right out, you know? Let's try knocking them out. That's weird. They are loose yet tight. I don't know if there's like a little ridge or something holding them in there. I figure we take them out and then we'll take them on a sander. We'll sand a little bit off so that when we crank down on the screws, the plastic is making contact again. I wonder if we take an O-ring. Maybe we do both. Maybe we can take like an O-ring, put an O-ring in here to help with the chatter. See if we get one of them out of there. And my guess is like maybe there's like a little ridge or something in the middle of it. They're in there. They must be cast. Try tapping it the other way, but I don't think it's going to go. Yeah. So they must have cast the plastic with those in there. How do we fix it, though? So the plastic is shrunk down more than the metal is. Can we... trying to think if we get a washer. I wonder if we can get a washer that is this diameter. You can even see, again, we're looking to see it with the screw. The washer, rather, has chattered its way. Let me see if I can find something. I have a bin of like fiber washers. Maybe we can find one of them that has a diameter that big, and we can run the screw down and it'll push down on the plastic a little bit harder. Yeah, I'm thinking something, if you could find something, like I said, with the center. Go smaller than that, right? Get on there. Oh, that one. I dropped this whole thing on the floor once, so they're all mixed up. You've been there, I know. How about we go with like 4 of those and we crank it down and see if that'll work as I throw it away. Alright, let me go try that. Kind of wonder if maybe I'd be better off gluing them, or just to hold them while we're trying to crank down on them. Let's try it, because we might be able to see maybe around the washer. Are they different sizes? Yeah. These 2 are too small. Well, one of them's the OD, a little bit smaller on that one. I'm just kind of wondering if we're going to be able to, they got to kind of stay center when we tighten it. But I think if we get it close enough and then like, you fudge it with your fingernails and then crank down them, we'll be okay. That should be right. I'll bring it back. Get them buzzed. It's part of it now. Whether it's going to stay over time, I don't know. I kind of wonder if we should Loctited them in, but I don't want to. What they weren't before, so let's let it ride. Let's go see what we get. Well, I don't have any parts or screws left over, so that's a good sign. Let's go see how she does to go and fire up. Okay, well, that much throttle. That way is choke. Sounds much better. That's all the smoke, the assembly lube I was using burning out of it. Probably set it outside and let it run. That's a lot quieter. Hopefully it stays that way. Yeah, let's kill it. Yeah, let me go run it outside. Doing its job. Give it a minute, we'll let it run for a little bit. We'll try picking those leaves out. Alright guys, so that worked out pretty good. Seems like it's functioning like it should. I ran it, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, no great long period of time. Let it idle a little bit up off idle for 5 minutes and then gave her. It's staying together, it's not noisy. Those fiber washers right now are taking care of that play that was in the fan that was creating all that noise. And while we're in there, we rebuilt an engine. Hopefully those fibers stay. You know, I was kind of like, was it an engine knock or was it something else having a little bit of play in it? In the back of my mind, I was like, well, possibly the fan is loose or something in the drive line was loose. But I figured, he said it was like 1.5 years, 2 years it was doing it. It's slowly getting noisier and noisier. You would think if it was a fan, like it was the hardware that would have loosened up, that it would have just come apart shortly thereafter. But no, you know, again, commercial landscaper, so it's not like the thing gets used once a month and put away. It gets run quite a bit. But anyway, it got the engine rebuilt, and we figured out what's wrong with the knock that was in it, and he should be happy with it. And it didn't really take all that long, really. You know, if I wasn't filming, it was probably like a 45-minute or an hour-long process to go and do. All right, guys, I think we're done on this one. I want to thank y'all for hanging out, and we'll get into something else pretty soon. Till then, I will see you later. What year do you think this is, Clark?
I think it's 1953.
Is it like I got another name besides, or is it an Ariel something?
It's an Ariel 350 NH. There's a little NH on this side down here, and that kind of is the model number that designates it as a 350.
Got just enough of the
Let's do it.
yeah.
So I guess the real question is, do I put some more air in that front tire? Pretty flat-ish.
I think it's the front or the back that's dragging. We are going to attempt to do a cold start on. It's only been sitting for a year or two, we're thinking. So possibly it'll fire up. It's got a tag at 23 on it, so yeah. Battery in the front or the back?
I don't see it up here, so I'll stay somewhere else.
Looks pretty clean.
It does.
Well, there you go. What you got right there? That. Kind of what we're looking for to get turned around, face the right direction. So that is either a 356 or a Porsche 912 engine. It's like the tins are off the left-hand side. There's any parts of it laying around. Some weird looking header muffler on it. I don't know if there's any more of it. Good, it's easy to get out of here.